back to Parliament. There's a lot of reactions from Parliament on the issue of absenteeism. Kwesi Parker-Wilson is joining us now. Parker, what more can you tell us? We understand that Parliament has been thrown into a state of chaos when the Speaker actually referred these 3 MPs to the Privileges Committee. What can you tell us? We'll try and connect shortly with Parker, who has the latest from Parliament on this. We will be getting you the reactions of the MPs, particularly some of them in the minority who are also challenging the decision of the Speaker. Parker, if you can hear me once more, I'm asking, what's the latest in Parliament, and what are some of the reactions from the MPs? Well, Parker is having difficulties hearing us, but we can take a listen to Muntaka Mubarak, who's the minority Chief Whip. We'll get him shortly, but first, Parker is also on. Parker, I'm asking about the reactions that we're getting from MPs on this.
Blessed, the members of Parliament are not essentially enthused about the ruling from the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Barbin. And Muntaka Mubarak has been making the point that the Speaker is not clothed with the powers to refer the conduct of these 3 MPs to the Privileges Committee. And that if that is allowed to happen, what it means is that in the future, when they have a speaker who is a dictator, will just walk into the chamber, sit on his chair, and starts directing members of Parliament to do certain things. And so for him, he's not really happy about the speaker's position. I must say that when he was on his feet to make this point, the speaker, one way or the other, sought to shut him down, ask him to sit, but he stood his grounds and proceeded to make his point. We can listen to Muntaka Mubarak when he was making the points in the chamber.
And so, Parker, we'll hear from Muntaka Mubarak shortly. But beyond all of this, when do we know, what details do we have on when the Parliament Privileges Committee will be sitting on the matter? Now,
the Parliament actually is rising today. Today, their agenda, they're going on recess today, and we don't know when they are coming. Actually, they are yet to communicate to the House, but the Speaker's directives are clear that the Privileges Committee should treat this matter with the needed agency, and that they are asking them to submit their report to the plenary 2 weeks after Parliament resumes. And that is after Parliament returns after the Easter break, because they are going on a recess for the Easter break, and also to have some break for themselves, meeting their constituents and brief them on what's been happening in the chamber. And so that is the information that we have. The Speaker is clear that the petition was from some civil society organization. We know that Ras Mubarak petitioned him. We know that ASEPA also petitioned the Speaker. And Okudjo Blacko has been raising the concern of the 3 members of Parliament who have been absent or breaking the order 16 and 17 respectively, basically because they breached the rule. I have with me Rashid Popo, and let me just get a quick reaction from him. Rashid Popo is a member of the NDC. I am curious. Some say the Speaker's directive, it's clear, and yet your caucus, being the minority side, is against the Speaker's directive. Why so, sir?
Well, not directly against it, but it was important for us to seek clarity in exactly what the Speaker meant. Remember, the Speaker has been the longest-serving member of Parliament, has got a lot of experience, knows the law, understands the standing orders. So he makes pronouncements from the point of knowledge, which might take us by surprise if we are not abreast with the circumstances. So people were eager to get to understand exactly what he meant by the pronouncement he made. But essentially what he is saying is that there are 2 types of references. When they make a reference to him as a speaker, it's different from when they make a reference to Parliament. Yes. So this reference was to the Speaker, and so he acted on it as the Speaker would act on an issue by directing it the way he thinks fit.
So for clarity, when he is petitioned as the Speaker, yes, does he have the powers, because I've not seen that in the other paper, the standing orders, does he have the powers to direct or refer it to any committee?
That is the question, and that is the point we are yet to get the understanding. But that is what he says. And the rulings of the Speaker, if we do not have clear-cut definition in the law or in the standing orders, would operate until there's a change by another decision. So these are areas that we are still experimenting with, and that's why precedent is important in Parliament. And so we are looking at it depending on how it goes, if anybody moves a motion to challenge the Speaker's decision, eventually, and the motion succeeds, then that decision will override the Speaker's decision. But for the meantime, the ruling factor in the decision made by the Speaker is that we are going to go by what the Speaker has said.
Muntaka served the notice that was going to challenge the decision. Is that something you support? Is that something the caucus agrees with?
Well, at the point he was speaking, of course, you follow your leaders. Other than that, we have not gotten individual positions in this. We have Muntaka making a very powerful, remark, and then challenging the Speaker's decision. And he eventually says he's going to move a motion. We are yet to get the essence of the motion, what it means, and then it will carry us along if it does convince us that it is in the right direction. But before he does that, he will definitely have to consult us for us to have a common position, which will then drive the motion.
And finally for me, Chairman Sabonso being the majority that made the point, this is my final question to you, that when the matter is before the Privileges Committee, when they are done, the report should be binding on Parliament. There's no need for the Privileges Committee to refer the report to the plenary for them to take a decision on. That is where he disagrees with the Speaker. What is the position on that, sir?
Well, he operates on a rendition in the Constitution, which says if a member of Parliament is found consistently absent for a fortnight, he shall give up his position, be removed. Now, but if you look at the same standing orders, I think it's 104 or so, it is saying that members of the committee, after dealing with any issues, would have to get back to the House and report to the House. When you report to the House, you don't report for us to sit down and just listen to you. We debate the results, the report. And it doesn't come to us unless it comes in the form of a motion. All reports come to the House from committees in the form of a motion. The motion is debated, and then a stance is taken. Now,
so in this case, what should happen? Should the Privileges Committee submit the report to the plenary, or you agree with what majority?
No, the committee must submit the report to the House. The committee cannot be an independent committee from Parliament. The committee would have to submit the report, and if the report of the committee says that the people, the individual members who came before them have not been able to absolve themselves, have not been able to explain, and must leave the House, then we will go by that. We will flow with that, but that will depend on how much convincing there can be with members of Parliament, and then we can go along or not go along with them.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Rashid Pepo is West Central. Yeah, member of Parliament for the NDC as well. And Blessed, finally, let me say that these three MPs, in the event that the Privileges Committee submits the report to the plenary for consideration, and there is a vote, these three MPs cannot vote because they cannot be judges in their own case. Your case is pending before the House, and so they will be denied the right to partake or participate in the vote to decide whether or not their seat should be declared vacant. So that is also some of the controversies that the majority is looking at. So for these three MPs, we are yet to know when the committee will begin. And the committee is chaired by the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Owusu. We are yet to know when he will start the hearing and when the three MPs will appear before them. But certainly we are clear in our minds that when Parliament returns 2 weeks after resumption of parliamentary duties, they have to submit their report to the plenary. And the NDC is clear that they hope that the challenge would find favor with their colleagues on the other side, so that a member of the House can raise the matter before the House for whether they should be referred to the Privileges Committee or not. So that has been a disagreement and a misunderstanding here in Parliament. I must say it became a bit heated at some point, but one way or the other, the Speaker managed to calm the tension. And Blessed, I'm sure I heard Akabile talking about the Dasin North issues. he's in chamber. I've seen him in chamber. He's been in Parliament this morning. He's been around participating in parliamentary duty. So if our viewers, and of course you want to know where that Synod Member of Parliament is, I must say that he's currently in the chamber participating vigorously in parliamentary duties.
Giving us a 360 on what's happening in Parliament. I'm grateful.